Louisiana has about 40 craft breweries to choose from. 5 of those are right here in central Louisiana. And Fighting Hand is the first one in Pineville since the city became alcohol-friendly.
I reached out to them to make sure that the city of Pineville was interested in doing this, and they were very interested and set up a meeting with us a couple of days later.
Local tap rooms have become community centers for residents and destinations for out-of-town visitors.
We're not a bar per se. We have a bar where we serve, but we're not the same thing as a bar. We do trivia nights. We're going to start doing bingo here pretty shortly. We have comedy nights starting. We do some music events. We do original music only. We do Magical Market once a month, except for on the quarter. We do singer-songwriter nights. The Reading Nook is a lending library, so you can come in, take a book, leave a book. We don't keep track.
In 1993, the beer franchise law enabled an imbalance that clearly favored licensed wholesalers. Former professional football wide receiver Kerry Koch is now, amongst other things, the executive director of the Louisiana Craft Brewers Guild. He says Louisiana's alcohol distribution laws are a little bit behind the times.
It's a system that's been in place in Louisiana for a long time, and therefore comes a lot of policy that predates craft beer. They didn't plan for us to be around, really. And now we find ourselves in a situation where the pie has been cut, and there's no room for new slices, and we're new slices to this whole alcohol game.
In the latest legislative session, Kerry and other state legislators went to bat for these craft breweries, using other successful states' laws as a guide.
Like any other good piece of legislation, usually one-hit wonders don't happen. Sometimes it can happen where you can come in and change a policy and make it better in 1 or 2 years. But this has been about a 5-year conversation that I've had. And the Brewers Guild has been fully behind on how to change this industry. So we found ourselves in a position where I think we have been unsuccessful for the past 5 years. And this year we find ourselves passing 3 bills that have some pretty serious tools that the brewers now have access to.
In a nutshell, the new policies allow manufacturing breweries to self-distribute, no wholesaler needed, and they can transfer finished beer between their different locations. A microbrewery can transfer beer between their locations, and manufacturing breweries can host special events in their tap rooms and sell outside alcohol, but there are steep permit costs involved.
The current bit of legislation that was passed is definitely a step in the right direction. However, there's still a hurdle attached to it, which if you're a small brewery and all of a sudden something happens to the cooler, what do I pay? Do I pay for this license to be able to bring a keg down the street to Buckets, or do I get my cooler fixed? Because maybe I don't have the money for both. It needs to be more business friendly.
There's obviously more work to be done, but in the meantime, the Louisiana tourism folks are working hard to promote these establishments.
Hats off to Lieutenant Governor and the work that he's done to help continue to bring this industry along, because we are bringing people from all over the world to Louisiana, and they're going to breweries, and they're traveling all over the state to see these multi-million-dollar investments that we're just so excited to be a part of that. Kind of a tourist trail now. These are real jobs. It's a real industry. We're one of the top attractions. We're excited to be kind of continuing to be in that fold of tourist destinations, because they are extremely unique places to visit if you haven't been to one.
If you've ever been interested in craft beer, come see us.